Look at that menacing ass storm rolling in, boys. Check it out. We got Neti, and she's all open, kind of all opened up for us to take a gander. So let's begin. Check it out, check it out, check it out. First up, ladies and gents, we got our motherfucking kitchen area, okay? So, I mean, right now I got the laptop open. I'm actually rendering a video, a cold plunging video, actually, which is probably one of my most. It's probably like my. This cold plunging video is sacred. That's what it is. It's honestly like I am so stoked that I captured the cold plunging moment that I had in the Big Thompson River. I'm so fucking happy that I captured that on GoPro and was able to edit it and share it with the world. Like I'm stoked to be able to look back on that at some point in my life. So I hope you guys dig that one. Anyways, so we're dealing with we got 4 milk crates in total in this space, right? I got a bunch of knickknacks in there. Well, actually I have like towels and clothes and all kinds of like shit that I want to be able to access quickly. I got it all in here, baby. Yeah, and then in these little hanging packets, which have been really handy. I got a bunch of like supplements, like athletic greens and lion's mane, turmeric, all my different shit that I take daily. I got in there. Okay, and of course the Yeti cooler. I went ahead and since I don't have a solar setup quite yet, I definitely didn't want to get an actual um an actual refrigerator. So I went ahead and got the Yeti, and so far that bitch has been working phenomenally well. Moving on, we got our Coleman two top propane portable camping stove. Right, this thing has been working out damn good for me so far. Um, I do kind of get tired of twisting on and off the little propane thing. Like you got to plug that in right there and twist it on and off, and it's kind of fucky. So there's potential there for upgrades in the future. Or I'm sorry, in the future. But nonetheless, it works for now. But we have a nice big area for cooking up shit. And surprisingly, this was actually supposed to like in my head, this was gonna be where I was gonna be like cooking the most. But since my thing fits over here, in the scenario that I'm wanting to actually fix food in the van, it is way more convenient to say fuck you to this space and mosey over here, pop the window open, turn the fan on, and I got like nice suction and nice flow going throughout the vehicle. So while we're on this kind of note, check this out. So I got my water here. This is my sink. This is a wireless rechargeable $20 thing off Amazon. And this sink is an old recycled kitchen bowl of mine that I drilled a hole into. And then my homeboy Lucas, shout out Mr. Filer, I love and miss you. Um, my homeboy Lucas found an awesome automotive rivet to send through the bottom of this, and to enable me to attach this nice tube slash my plumbing down to the ground outside. And mind you, I went ahead and said fuck off to a gray water tank for the uh, legitimately valid reason of the fact that I only use organic toothpaste and organic soap and then water. Like those are the only 3 things that go down that sink, and they, from my understanding, are perfectly okay for the outdoors. So, moving on, I got a beautiful window cover right here, and actually I have one of those for all these different windows. They're just all kind of stashed away right now. I'm not gonna go through all my shit because I feel like that's kind of weird. But just know that there's all kinds of cleaning materials, protein powders, Tide Pods, which I do not consume, by the way. And then a hidden stash of some motherfucking paydays, boy. Other random shit. A wonderful, beautiful art piece made by Elena Hermidko. She's an artist from my hometown, and I fucking love this sky piece, bro. It actually, low key, the sky. Okay, if you block out the grass, if you just notice that sky right now, it kind of reminds me of what's going. Damn! Oh my god! It kind of reminds me of what's going on out here. Kind of gnarly. Not only is this a nice little decorative piece in my van that lacks decoration currently, but it also serves a legitimate purpose, which is to prevent these 2 little drawers from opening. So that's tight. Shout out Elena. Thank you so much. Moving on, I got my fruit basket with some bread, avocados, bananas, which, by the way, These are perfect. Okay, if you don't, I used to be totally whack about when I would consume bananas. Right, I would only eat them when they were like completely yellow, no brown. But now, since I grew the fuck up, I eat them when they're brown as fuck. Okay, that's when all the sugars are like nice and condensed and thick. Okay, don't judge me. Anyways, I also have a nice cute little thing under that. That's actually bolted down along with my fruit basket here. So if I wanted to, I could probably honestly do pull-ups from this fruit basket. It's pretty solid. Moving on, pantry. Okay, I got silverware, soups, lots of oatmeal, lots of ramen noodles. B has joined us. Yeah, lots of just random shit that I eat. Okay, four more milk crates down here, also containing random ass stuff such as pots, pans. Damn, homeboy's just chilling in here. Pots, pans, bowls. Moving on from the pantry area, we got my power station. So this is what charges my phone, operates, or I'm sorry, supplies electricity to my fans, which I do have two, by the way. One, and you might have noticed the other one actually earlier. Two. I do have a little LED strip that goes all the way around the van. Let me activate that now. Oh, yeah. Cute little vibes. It does, of course. This is one of those cheap Amazon LED strips, so it like changes into like thousands of different colors. It's been pretty well, so it's worked pretty well so far for me. Up here, this is where I keep my little mantra list that I read off every day. Uh, that I've been doing this for like a year, right? Like keeping a mantra list. I don't know what else to call it. It's just like it's a list that every morning I go through. Pretty much right after I brush, like one of the first things I do when I wake up is I go through this list and remind myself of who the fuck I want to be. You know, and I've done that for months now, and that has been such an incredible tool. It really has been. So I'm stoked to be able to share that and give you guys ideas because this has seriously helped me stay so much uh, on my own train tracks per se. Okay, okay, bro, check out my fucking cool ass tapestry, dog. This is something I did not purchase for the van. I actually bought it from my house a while back, but it fits in here perfectly and beautifully, and it's one of my few but largest decorative pieces. Let's move on to the front of the van, right? First thing you might notice here is I got a big ass subwoofer box. This is essential for me. Okay? All right. I got a lot of people that were looking at me sideways like, I thought you were trying to be a minimalist, bro. And I was like, okay. But music, you know? But bump. I hardly ever miss an opportunity to bang some motherfucking 50 Cent or 8 Ball and MGK or Kid Cudi or Erica Badu, whatever it's going to be. I hardly miss an opportunity to bump in this van because that thing goes fucking hard. Um, and unfortunately for any of those people who are going to try to steal it at any point, it is bolted to the chassis of the van. So sub box with a nice countertop kind of going on here with some storage for driving, or just kind of like a junk drawer. Really is what's going on right there. Paperwork for like the van registration and shit, whatever. A cute little eyeball, little mushroom eyeball, little fungi action. My fungi perfecti hat, proudly hanging from a beautiful butterfly hook. I did just get this little button, which I think is fucking adorable. I did just get that at the Psychedelic Science Conference here in Denver. Not here in Denver, but in Denver, Colorado. Did I mention I'm in Estes Park? Continuing on, that's where I drive. There's not much exciting going on there, except my pretty gnarly window brow, which I'm really stoked to have. My tinted windows in here basically enable me to like not ever really have to wear shades. So that's dope. And dude, the tinted windows do wonders when it comes to reducing the amount of heat that gets into this fan. So with the tinted windows and with my reflective like blinds and shit, it stays on a fucking on the sun beating down in this van. If all my blinds are up and I have air moving, it's awesome in here. I mean, it's incredible to me what those two things combined have done for me as far as comfort goes. I don't know if you noticed, but I did make a homemade kind of thing here. These are gnarly. I haven't seen any of the van lifers do this before, so I figured I'd share. I don't even think you have to be a van lifer to know that in a lot of states, there's such widely varying laws on how much tint you can have and on what windows you can have them on, and blah fucking blah. And so obviously, like, I want my tint dark as fuck. I want it to be the darkest that can be. But I wanted it to be removable. So I made it removable. So what's going on here is this is actually a piece of plexiglass that's like semi-perfectly cut out to my window. I left a couple inches up here so I can still leave my window cracked like it is right now. But plexiglass, tinted it, drilled holes for suction cup mounts, and then mounted a handle to it. I will show you how that operates right now. It always makes kind of a cool sound when you rip it off too. It reminds me of like an octopus. See? You see what I'm fucking saying, dude? So now, it's kind of beat up, so excuse that, but wow. Easy as that, boys. Removable tint. You saw it here first, motherfucker. Anyways, pretty much the final thing that I wanted to include of the cab is this little shelf that my dad made me. My dad cut this up for me quick, bolted it down, set my little foam out right there, and it's been awesome, right? Because you'll notice that it hangs out a couple inches further past the stock armrest, and that is for good reason. Because I'll tell you what, when you have to when you're driving for like 9 hours straight and you gotta awkwardly like reach your fucking elbow out, not sexy, not cool at all. So, code reader for checking engine codes. Since older vehicles, at least I should only speak to older Fords like this girl Neti, you can usually only read the codes when you're under the hood of the vehicle. That didn't make much sense to me, so I made my own harness and wired in my own code reader here, which actually turned out to be a fucking awesomely clean install that I'm super happy with. Like, it looks kind of cool, and I ended up finding like a perfect little grommet too for the hole that I cut into my A-pillar thingy, and yeah, I don't know, it worked out pretty good. Also, real quick note, I do have some cute trinkets going on up here, right? I think this was gifted to me by either my mom or my little sister. Paul Stamets fan club, that's right, baby. This was from a cool artist that I actually met at the Psychedelic Science Conference. I forget her name. There's her Instagram though, if you want it. That's upside down. Figure it out. Good luck. Couple more rail things, more rail decor, right? More fungi shit. Shout out Danny and John for that one. I love you guys. And last but not least, I actually have a little piece of my uncle Donnie, who will always be traveling with me and hanging out with me while I'm on the road. My uncle Donnie passed. I don't know. I think like a year and a half ago now, and I didn't. Unfortunately, I never really got to like dive into a relationship with him like I think I would have liked to. Uh, but from what I do know about him and what I do remember about him, the few memories that we do have together, him and my aunt Sherry were big into traveling, right? And uh, whenever I communicated with him, he always had such a grounded presence. And I remember picking up on that from like a very young age. So I don't know. It's dope to have my Uncle Donnie in here with me because it just feels right. That's all I can say to that. Or that's the best I can describe it. So, anyways, yeah. Oh, let's check out that motherfucking futon, baby. Mm. Boom. Dude, this was a badass pickup. So I think I got this futon. Wow, look at that. Gorgeous. I got this futon off Marketplace for a badass deal. I think brand new is like $600 because it has like fancy outlets, and the headrest comes up all fancy too. It's really nice. But I picked it up for like $200, which I was totally horny for. And you'll see here that I did mount wheels to it so I can move it freely throughout the cab. So of course, I gotta like pull it outwards in order to go, in order for it to pull in, or in order to it, am I having a fucking stroke? God. In order for this to fold completely flat, I need to move the wheels. Let's do that real quick. Yeah. Yeah. And then check this out. Easily my favorite thing about this futon is this this feature. Right? I get to perfectly sit up, look at my back window, look at my toes, look at the outdoors, look at anything that I want to. It's fucking nice. Final thing here is that motherfucking roof rack and my Yakima rocket box. A wonderful addition to the van, providing me rooftop storage for things that I hardly ever have to access. And the beautiful thing is they are locked the fuck up. So that's dope. Oh, one more thing. Two more things actually. I want to give a shout out to my father for making me this. This is a little bucket, recycled bucket on wheels with a nice little butt cheek pad installed on top, which he made from scratch. Like, found some foam, cut it out, cut out this piece of something out of something, and made me a fucking bucket that I can roll around on in the van. And it works. I'm not gonna say perfectly well, because there is like a slight safety hazard with how short the wheelbase is. It's very prone to tipping. So whenever I'm on this, I am very aware of my bodily movements and balance, which honestly isn't such a bad thing. I kind of like the idea of maybe sometime putting an earplug, like going out into the wilderness, well, going somewhere, I don't know, and putting in earplugs or an eye shade for like days on end, right? Like depriving myself of a sense, just to see how much better the other ones get. Like I kind of like that concept. I don't know if that's called something besides sensory deprivation, but my point with it here is I feel like it kind of applies to the bucket, right? Like, be not really exactly the same thing that I just described, but like the bucket, since it requires me like to immediately tune into balance whenever I'm on it, I feel like I've gotten better balance. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that even applies to like sports, like rolling jujitsu and shit. You get better at just like knowing your body in space, or doing yoga. I've gotten so much better at understanding how to relax or how to activate different muscles. You know, it's dope. So this bucket works out really great. Spins around and shit, and it doubles as an emergency shitter. I do have plastic bags in there, so if I ever do need to poop in the van, I'm doing it right there, baby, on wheels. And I just actually had a future cast thought in which I hope I'm not ever taking a shit on that one day and I lose my fucking balance, bro. That'd be catastrophic. Ugh. Anyways, speaking of fecal matter, I do have a piss funnel, right? Not for fecal matter, but for going number one. I do have a piss funnel installed for emergency scenarios in which I can just piss in the van and it drains outside of the van. So, final thing here. Since I have a mom who's like hyper anxious, okay, I love you, mom, but fuck. No. Since I have a mom who gives a fuck about me, okay, and since I also give a fuck about my personal well being, I did decide to go ahead a nicer, more like hardy locking mechanism on all of my doors, which functions like the following. Right? So fuck these little up and down things. Apparently on older vehicles, those are pretty easy to like bust and break into, like break into the van through. So I went ahead and did kind of a double system here where I have one of these on every single door, right? Where I have this drop down pin, so that bitch really like doesn't want to open. It's worked out pretty well so far. I've actually had like 4 grizzly bears at once come up to the van and try to break in, and I heard all of them say, "Dude, fuck this thing." So I don't know. I think that's good enough evidence in supporting my my newest invention. So yeah, that's my fucking van. Okay, this has been my home for the past 8 or 9 days now. Actually, seven, pretty much right on 7 days. There's already been like some downs, right? Like there's been a couple things where in far as far as like the functionality and the design of the van goes, there's already been a couple things where I've been like, oof, that could use a little bit of love. That could use a little bit of moving around or upgrading and shit. And I think ultimately, I'm gonna wait on that because I have another voice that pops in my head when I think about upgrading, and it's the voice of like minimalism, right? It's the voice of like, dude, but it works. And I don't know, maybe it's just a matter of getting more settled in, right? And also the fact that, dude, there will always be more ways to get comfortable.